Bonnie Blue, banged up abroad, kind of. The full documentary of Tia Billinger from then to now. #UK. Expect bad language, foul discussion of a sexual nature, and some definite hardcore sarcasm. Like, I really didn't want to do an episode on this person, but here I am. Suddenly she got arrested and it was in my genre. So you've probably seen or at least heard of this female.
Boys, your balls deserve so much more than just a glance. I want to put both of them in my hands and my mouth. I want to check you thoroughly.
Okay, so we all know me as the girl who slept with 122 college boys in 2 weeks and 22 in one night, but for freshers, I want to change that. I want it to be 130 in 2 weeks and 25 in one night. So come on boys, let's have some fun and let's celebrate you getting into uni.
Okay boys, just 1 week until school is, and I cannot wait to be on my knees pleasuring you.
Full of morals, integrity, dignity and respect for young men and women and their families all over the world. Sorry, a bit of a cough there, guys. Well, unfortunately for her this time, she chose the very country that would never put up with her explicit ways and exploitation of their own young citizens or even tourists. Bali. Bali is a province of Indonesia and the westernmost of the Lesser Sunda Islands. And on this very beautiful island, the rules are completely different to say here in the UK or Australia and many other parts of the world too. It is a very religious country and area where the primary religion in Bali specifically is the Balinese Hinduism, Agama Hindu Dharma, which is a unique blend of Indian Hinduism, local animism, and also ancestor worship. So yes, very different to the UK, and what this female is used to, that's for sure. Balinese Hinduism is practiced by about 86% of the entire island's population, so a very religious place with others mixed in too, like Christians, Buddhists and Muslims throughout the country. The thing is, Bonnie Blue, real name of Tia Billinger, really does not have much care, any thought or respect for this stunning island's values, traditions and even its laws. Bonnie, who was born Tia 1999 in a place called Stapleford in Nottinghamshire, England, is classed as an English pornographic film actress, active since at least 2003, but maybe earlier.
Hey Karens, just a reminder to say thank you for making me famous and thank you for letting me pleasure your sons.
Whether you are barely legal or barely breathing, I want to pleasure you and give you something that your wife is not.
I think you know where this about to go.
You guys should thank me because me getting out early has saved some of your tax money. Not that you earn much money anyway.
She boasts about her conquests all over social media to profit, claiming that in 2025 she had sex with 1,057 men in just one day. Ugh, sorry, I think I just threw up a little there. She also makes fun of women whose husbands cheat on them with her, commenting how sex with married men is acceptable if men are not being satisfied by their spouses. As I said, such high morals and respect for others.
You taunt women, I'm sleeping with your husbands and your sons.
Yeah, they're overweight, they've not got a job. I'll have no problem stepping over them to get to their son and husband. I'm the girl that rage baits, the one that takes your son's virginity and has no issue making your husband cheat. Oh, and Karen, whilst you've been slating me in your household, Your husband has been in the corner with a box of tissues watching my videos. So thank you for raising awareness on my name.
Get this. She has claimed to have made anywhere between 600,000 to more than 1.5 million per month. Yes, month on her OnlyFans account. Wow, that's so foul. Like, what's the world come to? She originally worked in finance recruitment for the UK National Health Service, or as it's otherwise known, the NHS, and was also married to a man named Ollie, but in 2021 her marriage ended. Having her marriage fall apart and the allure of the online content calling her name, as it seems to so many these days, purely for the profit and also often because it's on, as they feel, their terms, many people get taken in this direction, females and males alike. Bonnie said she was bored of living the 9 to 5. I mean, I don't think many people find it exhilarating. It's just a way of life for the majority of people, especially ones who would never turn to pornographic content to supply their lifestyle and support their families. But hey, we're all human here, and I am not judging her or anyone else for choosing this route in life. But I do judge this female in particular for many other things she chooses to do and say.
Hey parents, remember when I said I was going to pick your sons up? I wasn't lying. Hi boys!
I mean, she genuinely just doesn't care about the harm or damage that she could cause to the families and loved ones of the men she sleeps with, and young lads, and often exploits for her financial gain. Even mocking the married women who are being cheated on. I mean, honestly, it's awful to see.
I loved looking down when I did the world record and seeing how many men had wedding rings on. Like, I just loved knowing I was doing something that their wife should have done.
Yeah. But if I am sleeping with their husband and their son, it's because you've got an issue with communication. If you think I'm sleeping with your husband and son, go and speak to him. Go and, go to therapy with your partner. Whatever isn't perfect in your relationship, resolve that. It's not my fault.
She first became a webcam model, making a fair amount in her first month alone. Then moved on to the famous OnlyFans, where she loved to sleep with many 18 to 19-year-olds. This begs a few questions for me, but I'm not here to speculate. In 2024, during the Schoolies Week or Leavers Week in Western Australia, and also over here in the UK, in Derby and Nottingham, during their Freshers Week as we call it, Bonnie chose to use social media to maximise her personal brand and profit. She posted her location and where she could be in advance and invited men to have sex with her, at no cost to them at all. With one stipulation: they must consent to the sex being filmed and also posted online. Am I the only one that sees this as like grooming tactics? Surely not. I mean, just picture it the other way around. And because she is a female, this sort of behaviour is somehow seen as normal and acceptable to many? I don't know. I mean, she's clearly made a good living off it. So thousands of people are clearly paying and funding her lifestyle through accessing her materials. And by the sounds of it, sadly, many married men too. Just imagine being one of those women. How horrific. And even being further taunted and mocked by her publicly for it, with no way to respond without completely outing their awful situations. It's just terrible, it really is. And I really feel for those women. In January of 2025, Bonnie wanted to step it up a notch and compete for a world record. This highly commendable, respectable, and not sickening at all record was to achieve the most number of sexual partners in one day. I mean, who doesn't strive for such a record, hey? Since the year of 2004, the record had been held by Lisa Sparks, or Lisa Spar XXX, an American pornographic actress, director, producer, and model from Kentucky, US of A, where she seemed to establish and make an amazing career for herself, to be fair. Her record was 919 men in a single day. Ooh, I'm sorry, but that must have been like throwing a worm down a train tunnel, surely. That's just insane. Most people will never sleep with even a fraction of that in their entire lifetime. So Bonnie just had to break this long-standing record, and her aim was to sleep with 1,000 men, or at least 1,000 men. Nice rounded up easy amount here, you guys. But to be fair, her notoriety by this point, and invites for free sex, was ultimately just too enticing for many, and Bonnie would report that she indeed did break Lisa's record of 919 men, with her own 1,057 in just 12 hours. I have no words. The majority of males who turned up to the Bang Bonnie Blue for free would attempt to hide their identities and protect themselves over being sprawled across the internet, whilst happily taking part in this disgusting, despicable and highly infectious competition, or whatever the hell it was. OnlyFans described it as extreme challenge content. Ew. And US Weekly said it was competitive sex. Many videos were made and shared on Facebook and other social media platforms too, where she mainly and often boasted about her young conquests and married men, who played along with her games and challenges. How well it paid, and at the expense of many people. She didn't seem to ever care about any of that at all, or the families damaged in the process.
Just a reminder that if your husband goes missing today, don't worry, I'm taking great care of him. If you go in my comment section and you summarise, they're overweight, they've not got a job, they're sat, they've pushed a couple of kids out and they think, you know what, I don't want to give my husband anything else. I just want my bills paid for, I've got my kids. I'll have no problem stepping over them to get to their son and husband. But if you go in my comment section, it is women. It is 90% women. So of course, if I'm going to make videos to frustrate you, I'm going to aim them towards you. But I always say, do whatever you want to do. Do what you enjoy. Like if you don't want to do a crazy with your husband, but he wants to do it, I'll do it. No problem.
Many males were seen adorning balaclavas to hide their faces during the interactions with Bonnie. Imagine how that must have been for her though. So intimate, yet you can't even see the face of the person boning you. Like a full-on sex attack. It seems a bit fetishy to me. And how weird that these males were also up for it too. A video was taken of the queue to one of Bonnie's free sex shows, challenge, whatever you want to call it. Many don't even have socks or shoes on. I mean, one dude has no shoes or socks on. At least one person. Just standing barefoot, waiting patiently for their turn. Ugh. Apparently one person brought his mother along, because, that's fucking normal. One person left singing, "You Got a Friend in Me," from the classic Toy Story. Sounds like he certainly enjoyed himself. And one person was seen forcibly being removed from the venue by his own mum. Oh gosh.
Go in, put your clothes on and come. Otherwise, I'll get the police to come for you. Put on your clothes now and come out. Come out of here now. Put on your coat and shoes and come. Don't let me call the police,
He's coming, he's lost his coat.
Where's your coat? Where's the coat? Find your coat.
Don't shout, please.
He's unacceptable to me. If you get me more annoyed.
He's coming now.
Otherwise, I'll get the police to come for him. You know I don't try to call police already. Where is he?
He's just getting changed, he's coming out.
That's kind of on him.
I wouldn't have come.
We'll
Joseph, where's your coat?
It's downstairs.
I'm going to play a couple of disturbing excerpts now from some interviews, or at least one, like this one with Liam Tufts, where his full interview and more with her can be found on his YouTube channel at Liam Tufts. But guys, she was asked some crazy questions that she gave some incredibly disturbing responses to. Take this one for example. Would you knowingly sleep with a rapist? What? A complete what the fuck kind of question to most sane individuals. Oh, but not Bonnie Blue. Let's head over to see how she responds to this insane question.
But what I did do is, in fact, let me ask you a question. Now, you said the word rapist. I know that you push the boundaries beyond the point of comprehension to a lot of people, me included.
Yeah.
Would you knowingly sleep with a rapist?
Yes. I would.
Fuck's sake.
Like, why fuck's sake?
Well, no, you tell me why you would sleep with a rapist first.
Because I'm offering out my body. I'm consenting to it. So to me, obviously, once you're a rapist, you're always a rapist. It's disgusting. But I'd prefer them to come and have consensual sex with me to doing that to someone else who hasn't consented, to someone they're going to hurt and traumatize and never-ending list of issues. I would prefer them to come and use my body as opposed to somebody else's.
Okay, what the actual fuck, you guys? Firstly, the worrying pause, then the immediate yes. Wow. So rather than a known rapist to her being locked up behind bars where he belongs, she would prefer that he came to her for consensual sex. That is so wrong on so many levels. I'm sure you don't need me to explain them, but quickly. Firstly, she's basically accepting rapists, but would also happily supply them with her own body. What the hell do you say to that?
What about on the moral spectrum? Would you not think to yourself, you're a scumbag, you need to be in jail, not inside me?
Of course, but I've not got the handcuffs. It's not my responsibility to put them away. If I slept with a rapist, unless it was me, the one that's getting raped, then yes, I've sort of got a responsibility to put them away. But if I'm not the one they raped and I'm not the police, then I'm not the court, then how can I be responsible to put them away?
No, you're not responsible, but put it this way, I wouldn't knowingly sleep with a rapist.
Yeah, well, we're different.
This is true.
Liam also asked her if she was a force for good or a force for bad for young women. Her very non-phased reply was, either or really. They're not really my problem or responsibility, but as a whole, I do good. I'm sure many people would beg to differ here, dear, and not just women. He also scratched the surface with the dangers of not just her work in general, garnering much male attention, where people could easily become obsessed and stalk, or worse. Plus, obviously, all of the women out there now entangled in her very public drama and marital massacres. There's no way all of those married men got away with it. Some women are pure detectives these days. Liam said to Bonnie, I fear one day someone is going to murder you, and that she is a contender, and had she ever thought of that? You can clearly see she has by her slightly shy and worried first response. But then she just again lays into all of the women, saying something like, they're all on benefits, doing fuck all with their lives. They can barely afford beans, let alone a good knife.
I fear one day someone's going to murder you.
Do you think?
I think you're a contender. Have you ever considered that?
It's definitely crossed my mind. However, the hate I get is from women that are on benefits, stuck on their sofa, doing fuck all with their life. Are they going to get up and murder me? No. They can barely afford the beans on the plate, let alone a good knife.
Is she serious? Murder can be committed with many tools for one, darling. Pretty much anyone owns a knife, of any kind. That's just a pocket knife can kill you. And it's not just pissed off women who could suddenly surprise and attack you. He's genuinely looking out for her here. Especially in the vulnerable position she puts herself in, like letting men wear balaclavas and completely hide and disguise their identities. Sleeping with so many people she knows nothing at all about. Oh, and happily would give her body to a rapist. I mean, come on.
So you're putting yourself in a room full of people that you don't know which one is the loose cannon, and you will get people obsess over you. They're going to fall in love with you. They're going to watch you, and they're going to think that there's going to be some people that think you're theirs because they watch you on the screen. And the world is getting madder and madder. You know, you get these serial killers that have got women issues and they hated their mum and they go on a prostitute killing spree.
Yeah.
I just think the way you're putting yourself out there, I fear one day somebody could target you and take your life.
I think if we didn't live in such a dangerous society, I'd agree with you. But it's honestly more dangerous if I were just to walk down the street nowadays and have a nice watch on or have a bit of money. So me putting myself out there doesn't put me at any more risk than the average girl, you know, walking home after a night out if you're a girl.
Okay, just how insanely cocky and confident is she though? Too much. She must not have the time to watch any true crime, being boned constantly. Crazy she feels that invincible though. She thinks cameras would prevent a deranged fan or enraged missus. She has no clue. Liam also commented just how many of these people will have mental issues or even mummy issues and take it out on her, but she still feels it's more dangerous to walk down the street these days with a nice watch. Again, no words. Some people just can't be helped. I haven't watched this full interview in depth just because I have so many projects right now, like a Christmas murder massacre I'm doing. Well, I'm not doing it, but it makes me laugh when I say that to Matt. I'm just doing a Christmas massacre. Okay, darling, see you soon. But yeah, and I could genuinely spend hours just watching interviews, but to be honest, it makes me pretty sick, and I find her really intolerable too. So yeah, it's a great watch for sure, and I love how Liam approaches Bonnie with questions for her, and still manages to show respect whilst confronting her with such hard ones. No pun intended. Bonnie had been accused of manipulating young men into performing sex on camera, without considering the long-term impact it could have on them. Think about it. People can be identified by tattoos, say, and if they're seen on a video like this, depicting sex acts that could lose their jobs, homes, wives, and entire lives, even perhaps choosing to end it all, you just never know. But she didn't seem to care about any such implications, unfortunately. In an interview with Cosmopolitan, she said that such claims are stupid to question whether the young men in her videos understood the consequences. If you're going after schoolies that are like 18 or 19, I mean, their something lobe hasn't evolved and grown to maturity yet, so you could argue that one. She even compared her situation to young men heading off to war. We've got no problem sending 18-year-olds to war, she said. And she said this again to Alison Langdon on A Current Affair.
I don't think I've gone young enough. Yeah, I want the most barely legal 18-year-old.
You're talking about young boys there, and what you're into is fine because you're a 26-year-old woman, but with these teenage boys, their frontal lobes aren't developed yet. So, I mean, can they fully comprehend the weight of their decision to be in your videos?
So why are they allowed to go to army and put themselves in a life-threatening situation? Why are we letting them in a car where they could kill multiple people? So we should stop picking and choosing when we want to say 18-year-olds are young. And I know it's hard for parents because things go younger and younger, but the conversation about sex and all of that should be happening a lot younger, and especially not at 18.
But that's part of the problem that you're talking about there. Their exposure to violent porn is happening now as young as 11. So that they are learning that, that normal sex is dull sex. So when they get to 18, they're expecting that they can do all these violent things to women. And then you come forward and you say, do all these violent things to me.
Yeah, to me, never to anybody else. I always say everyone's boundaries are different.
They're not going to separate that. It's sort of, aren't you saying that, hurt me and that sexual violence is okay?
No, because I'm saying, hey, this is what I enjoy. The biggest thing I talk about is consent, and everyone has different boundaries.
One of Bonnie's favourite sayings is barely legal. Yes, Pretty creepy. She states how she is smart in her wording, and the second bloody word in that is legal. They're like, oh my god, she's even admitting she slept with someone barely legal. And it's like, yeah, you fucking moron, the second word in that is legal. Those were her words, of course. Admitting it was all for the reaction we've given her. I love that. Listen to what else she said to Liam concerning this. It's absolutely vile. No respect for anyone involved, let alone herself.
And he's like, yeah, you fucking moron. The second word in that is legal. Yes, I'm clever with it, and I'm clearly a lot more clever than you because I've made you make a TikTok on me. I've made it so that you're so frustrated that you've done this. And they think that they're one up on me. And I'm like, no, I already knew you was going to do this. Of course I want a reaction from you. The more you talk about me, the more your husband's going to search me. The more your son's going to hear my name in the house where he's going to go and have a wank over me. So it's really fun to sort of highlight the lack of intelligence from majority of the world.
Ew, how gross is that? And she thinks so bloody highly of herself, even comparing herself to other women in the industry that she is herself in, kindly condemning them all as sluts. And with nothing else to them. Wow. She said the difference between her, just her, and all other females in her industry is that they are all just sluts. Whereas she is a slut, admittedly, but also intelligent, sweet, kind and caring, which of course means that not a single other female could also have the same qualities in her line of work. Just Bonnie. Okay. I think she even said that they were all lazy as well. She commented that a lot of sex workers love themselves too much. Pot, kettle, black? So hypocritical and amusing to say the least, love. In December of 2024 came one of her most known videos where she is seen standing outside Nottingham Trent University stating how she was there to have sex with barely 18-year-olds.
As promised, I'm outside Nottingham Trent University, as I said I would, to pleasure as many uni students in 2 weeks. I want to sleep with 130 barely legal 18-year-olds. And you can go for as many rounds as you want. You can finish wherever you want. And the most I want to take in one night is 25, but I'll let you into a little secret. I did 30 on the first day alone. So come and get me on my knees and let me celebrate you getting into uni, boys.
Hey boys, school's over and I'm about to get on top. Okay, so I most recently took somebody's virginity whilst their mum stood outside and listened.
Nice. What all mothers hope their sons bring home, eh? Mind you, I don't think she was trying to go back to their mums, was she? Then, in February of 2025, she would post to her Instagram a photo of noodles, pickles and chocolate sauce with the caption, #cravings, and it's giving MILF vibes. Obviously trying to gain more attention, with people talking about her and searching her name with speculations of pregnancy. Then, later, she just admitted it was all a stunt. Right. Imagine, though, just how many men and young males were shaking in their boots during this time. That is the mum to your child? Not sure they'd have chose that.
It's a good job I had to check IDs for the 1057 because I now need to reach out to them for child support. God, this is going to make me rich.
Quite shockingly, after everything she had publicly said and done thus far, in April of 2025, the amateur football club based in Cornwall, called Calstock FC, even sponsored Bonnie, and she was pictured with them too. Not sure that's quite the publicity you should be reaching for, guys. Not the best example to set. She was dropped shortly afterwards. Perhaps a bit more research was needed there. In May of 2025, Channel 4 announced their documentary about Blue's attempt to have sex with more than 1,000 men in a day. Now, I never wanted to put myself through watching this disturbing shit, but for the purposes of this episode, I just had to. Oh god. Warning, I never expected what I saw. Very raw. Again, no pun intended, I genuinely mean that it is raw. Now, just to be clear, with most of my stuff being true crime and murder, I literally set all of my videos pretty much to over 18s only. So there's no porn here. But you can go and see what sort of things she discussed and displayed during this very candid, full-on and full frontal episode. But genuinely, be warned, it's graphic. This can be found on Channel 4 documentaries using the Channel 4 app, through the Play Store, etc. And let's say she certainly doesn't hold back, as always. The more we talk about her, the more married men will wank over her. Her words, not mine again, of course. You guys, it's actually so disturbing just how she degrades her own family in this documentary, claiming how one New Year's Eve her family came over and how she made them all be really, really quiet in another room, them asking when they could put the music back on. And in her own words, I was just in the next room, fucking myself, and they're just waiting in silence next door. Oh, talk about respect for others and yourself. Also, apparently, her mum always jokes how every time she visits her daughter, there are just dildos everywhere. Bonnie commented how she just couldn't believe how crazy her life had become in just the space of a few years, from being stuck behind an NHS desk with the same exact day-to-day work, 9 to 5, to having her very own videographer and personal stylist who would travel with her around the world and adorn her in sexy, not risque, clothing, or so her stylist Hermes stated. She thought her old life and job was boring, and surely there was more to life than that. She then went on to become one of the top 100 earners on the OnlyFans site itself. Her team purchased 1,600 condoms in preparation for her next stunt, which was the Sleep With At Least 1,000 Men challenge, where officially and apparently she stated how they only need to stick it in her once to count. Lovely. Imagine that, like a little sausage poking conveyor belt.
So congratulations, boys. Now it's time to get me on my knees. If you see me, just ask me to pleasure you. To pleasure, to have fun, celebrate with my subscribers and fans and give back to them.
I mean, not that you're asking for me to critique the whole scene, but I found it utterly repulsive. And I thought...
That's what I went to at night.
Her team even assured her that she wouldn't be in any pain at all. No way. Because they had plenty of tubes of KY jelly, even a numbing one. Ew, this is so perverse. Why can't she see? It's so wrong on so many levels. But again, it is her life and her decisions. She continues to degrade other women, though, who go against her work, saying how when she looked into it, most of them don't have jobs, because now she is a millionaire, an independent woman who uses her body to empower her. So basically, everyone is just lazy, jealous and envious of her wealth. Of course, it has nothing to do with morals, dignity and respect for yourself and others, does it? And the damage that this sort of material can cause to the younger generation. Well, anyone. Like the aggressive sex, choking and stuff. On January the 11th of 2025, she posted how she would be in London, up for anyone between 1 PM and 1 AM, with a full address attached. Apparently, proof of no sexual diseases wasn't needed, just a condom. Because we all know that they are 100% safe, don't we? Especially when you've been KY jelly numbed down there. Bloody hell.
I know, but hey, in my defense, I just found out that condoms are only like 97% effective.
What?
Are you serious?
So you just like 3% of the time they don't even work?
Huh? They should put that on the box. Evidently they do. What? Well, I'll be.
They had no idea how many people to expect, but the team guessed between 100 to 1,000 people that would turn up. I just love the guess margin on that one. Yeah, it's going to be between about 6 and 1 million. Bonnie was actually worried and a bit apprehensive that not many people would turn up, saying, "But what if no one turns up? What if I've got more staff than I have people to be inside of me today?" With a very nervous giggle. Ooh, how classy. Bonnie stated her only rule was no back door, which I don't know why, it just always makes me laugh when she says that. What, so you're suddenly a prude when it comes to anal and can't even say the word? You literally say everything else. She said she wanted to give back to these men who just sat at home watching her and wanting to F her. So just come and do it. And she enjoys giving them her body. It's her life after all, hey? Bonnie's team are heard on the Channel 4 documentary reassuring the worried men waiting in line how no one will ever know or find out about it. That feels like a promise that they cannot definitely keep. Again, just a tattoo could ruin their entire lives from this, I don't know, experiment? Especially as someone films the entire corridor. As I said, some women turn complete detective. If they match trousers and shoes and then say the phone location to their partner, it could easily be the end. Stop them seeing their children and everything. So many risks involved. But again, it's their choice.
They had about 40 seconds with you. A lot of the men came in wearing balaclavas, so you couldn't see their faces. And they didn't need to do an STI check. Why wouldn't you set that as a minimum standard?
If it was cheaper in the UK and it was more accessible for a lot of people, I would. But it's like £430 for a full STD test here in the UK, which is very expensive.
But like condoms are 98% effective, which means the chances are 20 of them that day didn't protect you. So they could have given you anything. HIV, herpes, which you have for life.
Yeah, it's obviously always a risk, but people forget that risk is also there when you sleep with one person. I know it is very different when you're sleeping with 1,000, but sometimes the people at risk are more the people that do the one night stands because they think, oh, I've only slept with one person, or, oh, it's fine, I don't need to go and get tested.
You sort of knowingly knew that a bunch of those condoms wouldn't work and you had no idea of the sexual history of those men and you were okay with that.
It's not that I'm okay, but it's something I've chose and I've accepted that I'm going to take the risk.
It makes me really sad to think that that's a risk you're willing to take with your body.
Men then just strip down in the corridors. Many don't even hide their faces. No shame. Apparently, a BJ doesn't count towards a score on Bonnie's door for this occasion. Or on any, I'm not sure on that. But yeah, they have to fully enter to count. Let's just put it that way. 40 seconds inside was guessed to be the average. No words to that either. Well, that I want to put down in writing anyway. She takes multiple men at once, and honestly, it's fucking gross, I'm sorry. At least to me. I'm sure many people love it, and again, there's no judgment from me for that as such. I just feel so sorry for any of the wives or family members shamed in this documentary, and other videos. Kept behind doors is another thing. As many faces are shown, whilst others just go at it in full face coverings. Nice.
Nice. Nice. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Many proud males even posed for naked photos with Bonnie after the act. Halfway through her day of pounding, she looks, pretty flustered, as the room around her is just filled with used tissues, which was mainly like those awful blue roll you always had in sick bay at school in the UK. Oh man. And of course, numerous condom wrappers and used johnnies. Yuck. Not even a quick clean up in between, no? Okay. She even seemed proud to display it all, showing the work of the day. She had gangs of men at once, many with faces covered and clothing still on, or like, one had like a top on, one with his boxers and his top on, just got his knob out. Some were even filming her themselves on their own devices. Bonnie explained how all of this and the amount of men just doesn't bother her. She isn't an emotional person, has no PTSD or hidden trauma. She just loves it, obviously. And the attention of major profits, of course. Many people seem to believe that she has some sort of past trauma, but honestly, I don't believe that she does. She is even seen disturbingly doing a starfish on the floor, completely naked, in amongst all of the day's used tissues and condoms. Yummy. But again, who are we to tell her that that's gross and how to live her life? We're all different. Of course, following such controversial and sexual videos being made, the press and public absolutely slaughtered her for it. I mean, Channel 4 decided to put it out there, so... But she fully well knew that that would happen. It was part of her much wanted, needed and desired publicity. As long as you're talking about her, bad or good, it's all just good press to her. Remember, she has no emotions, and apparently, if she doesn't want to be upset, she just doesn't let it happen. Man, I wish it was that easy for the rest of us.
You've had 1,000 men's inside of you today.
Yeah.
What hurts more, your mouth or your...
Probably done that a little bit. I don't need a wheelchair, like I am fine. Just feels like I've had a heavy day in the bedroom, which is exactly what I've had. I think if it had continued how it did for the first sort of 3-4 hours, I would have struggled.
Let's get a round of applause in the room, people. There we go.
Now, funnily enough, to everyone's surprise, Bonnie just went really quiet and hid away at first after the 1,000 men bang. Oh no, she wasn't ashamed. She was incredibly sick. Really? With over 1,000 dicks in your mouth and kissing utter strangers all day? Well, that is a shock. She said her legs hurt so bad, and for 5 to 6 days she was literally bedbound with the flu, of which she stated she'd never had that bad before in her whole life. Oh my god, I daren't even think about it. Remember, no sexual disease tests were needed for this event, yet they also went in her mouth. Explain that one for me. Ultimately though, she was more just upset she was too unwell to do any Instagram or TikToks. That generally says it all. No sense of the dangers she continues to put herself and her body in. I'm with Liam, and either one day someone may act, or death may take her from just a sexual experience in general. It's very disturbing to say the least, and actually worrying for her, to be honest. Now, get this. Because she was too unwell to make any more content, in the meantime her publicist, Emma, was more than happy to publish a story about the lad who came to her sex day with his mum there, in the video I showed earlier. By the way, I don't think he actually brought his mum, I think it was just that his mum came and got him. One man had to go into the venue, say the male's name and announce his mum was there to collect him, to everyone's amusement. That just really reminds me of that episode of The In-Betweeners. If you know, you know.
You lot go and hide somewhere. Hide? Yes, hide! Toilets?
So my date, yes date, was a disaster. But at least my friends weren't hiding in the toilet. Oh, they were. There is only one person who could help us now.
There's an urgent message for William Mackenzie. Could William Mackenzie please make his way to the front entrance as his mother is here to pick him and his friends up? That's William Mackenzie, year 12 at Russian Park. Please come to the front where your mother is waiting to collect you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Her publicist remarked about the story. I knew it would go off. That's all I'm saying. Well, all I'm saying is, that's incredibly sad and low. Pretty desperate, actually. Exploiting him at his embarrassment because uploads were slow. Bonnie's planned response to the male's mum removing him from the venue that day was to offer him one-to-one experience with her. So much respect, for the mother especially. Now, another controversial part, and question to many. Was her husband involved? Well, in the documentary he is even featured and named Ollie. She said how they'd met at age 14 and got married very young. Then they relocated to Australia together, and Ollie, her husband, even pushed her towards OnlyFans and fully supported her. He actually did sound proud, even claiming how she's changed the game and many porn stars remain out of reach, and you will never meet. So he clearly wasn't against it. Let's just say that. It's said that Bonnie and Ollie divorced in 2021, but her ex-husband remained part of her journey and content creation from behind the scenes. Many men perhaps even meeting him and having no idea who he actually was to Bonnie. The creator won 2 awards in 2025, one from Pornhub Awards for Favourite Newcomer, and one from XMA Creator Awards for Boy Girl Collab Clip of the Year with someone called Luke Cooper. Her mother, Sarah, also seems pretty supportive of her daughter's choices, admitting she would never choose this as her path in life. But would I want her doing anything else? No, not at all. Huh? Contradiction much? Probably where she gets it from. Sarah said she's always been proud of her daughter, no matter what she has done in life, from her dancing days all the way to the adult content. Whatever she chooses, her mum is behind her. Interesting to know though, after beginning to make it big in the adult industry, Bonnie put all of her family, or chosen ones at least, on the payroll so they could all quit their jobs. Just saying. One comment her mum made about all of the hate that they inevitably faced was how she usually just laughs it off, then said, "If you could earn £1 million in a month, your morals would soon change and you'd get your bits out." I don't care what people say, so the glassiness was also passed down, I see.
Most of the time I just laugh because I'm like, do you know, if you could earn £1 million in a month, your morals would soon change and you'd get your bits out. I don't care what people say. They all say they've got all these high morals, but no way, not for £1 million a month.
Her very controversial 1000 Men experience actually got banned, which left Bonnie distraught and seriously frustrated, especially after that flu, I can imagine. So she was then forced to change her filming and editing ways. Somehow, this pointed her in the direction of setting up a pegging video with a gay content creator. Bonnie seemed incredibly awkward to me, but was hoping it would help her get back into acceptable content. I just don't understand this world. She said her most popular and preferred content for her many viewers is usually the amateur stuff, rather than the professionally filmed videos. But now she was restricted to what she could put out there. But she could not help or stop her interest in the younger, most inexperienced males, particularly virgins. Just slightly disturbing to me. She obviously gets off on seeing their expression at the first full intimate orgasm experience. But you know, whatever floats your boat, I guess. With limitations, of course. Anything illegal being completely out of the question. In March of 2025, she headed to Miami for spring break. Fresh meat, prime targets. Many just more than happy and willing to get involved in the Bonnie Blue experience. She was now becoming a global celebrity. Males were literally running to meet her and pose with Miss Blue. Many videos that she made here, though, were actually fake, purely for publicity and extra attention. Fed up that she couldn't do exactly what she wanted to these males, film it and profit from them. But her subscribers were certainly shooting up still. And she most definitely did party hard whilst in Miami too.
Hey boys, school's over and I'm about to get on top. And of course, you can finish wherever you want and go for as many rounds as you want. So don't stress if you finish early.
Somehow though, a 100-man gang could have their way with her for a straight 8-hour live stream on OnlyFans because they were all also content creators. So I guess it's their way to protect themselves against the public and any future lawsuits. But if you're a registered creator, it's no holds barred, and mostly anything goes. Okay, I'm starting to get it a bit more now. Not that I'm going to sign up or anything. Another contentious and attention-grabbing move that Bonnie made was to explore more content with much younger girls. Some even perhaps fully fresh to such experiences. Many maybe just in for the money, who knows, but females did join her, and much younger too. Even using a classroom as a backdrop to what she described as an orgy. Nice. With young girls dressed in school uniforms and attire. I wonder what kind of men and women this immediately satisfies before just normal people. You know who I'm talking about. Kitty fiddlers.
Should I tell you a secret? I do in fact have a younger sister. Should I show you? Maybe I should do a sister reveal.
There were very, very young-looking males and females present who joined her for this one, looking both eager and nervous at the same time. At least one voted to just watch and not actually take part. Probably a little tester to see if it's for them full-time or hardcore in public. Some OnlyFans creators knew how big she had become, so essentially hoped to gain more notoriety just for them being in her videos, and it was free for them to join also. Some females had never joined anyone else before, solely filming in the comfort and safety of their own homes, but this was a whole new ball game, literally, just hoping their subscribers would rise from being involved with Bonnie Blue, which I have no doubt that they did. Bonnie played off the fact that many who turned up that day were incredibly nervous, using that to her advantage during filming. One female admitted a definite double yes that many people enjoy her content purely because she looks so underage. I mean, if that isn't a worrying and huge reason not to do it, I don't know what is. But, you know, if you can profit off your looks and having the advantage of looking so young, again, who are we to judge? And I guess if the nonces are watching you instead of the kids, it's one good reason. But, come on, you're facilitating perverts to children with adult material, which would only increase their appetite and leave them wanting, if not needing more, perhaps going to assault a child. It's just so bad to me and worrying. Many of the creators enjoy doing it because they feel in control. But the problem is, you cannot control others and what they do. How they may become sickeningly obsessed with them, for example, or how the younger content facilitates bad people's cravings and influences the younger generation to have rough sex, making people believe that all women like that. They are in control, but only to a point, I think. What are your views on this subject? Let me know in the comments below, and also where in the world you are watching this episode from. But please remain respectful so that my video stays up.
Okay, so we're at the Hilton in Fiji and we've had a lot of fun so far.
We've met a lot of fun guys and we've had a few facials.
I know, our skin is feeling very hydrated. See you later, boys.
Boys, close them books and head to the Meriton on the 18th of November because me and Annie Knight are going to pleasure you. Hey boys, if you didn't know, I'm going to be back in Surfers Paradise in just 3 weeks' time. I want to help you and your friends celebrate finishing school. So congratulations, boys. Now it's time to get me on my knees.
Most creators admit to doing such content purely because they cannot deal with the boredom of a standard 9-to-5 job and surviving on a minimum wage. By around May of 2025, Bonnie was earning around £2 million a month. Wow, that is insane. I can certainly see the attraction for many people, that's for sure. Her next ploy for attention, to stay relative and be big on OnlyFans, she planned her so-called Bonnie Blue's petting zoo. When asked about this, she responded, "Well, I'm gonna be in a glass box, tied up and open to the public." Wow, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. Saying that her goal for the event was to be tied up for 24 hours. What? Where the random ass public Yes, anyone could be a damn rapist or a nonce, but she didn't care. She said they could do whatever the fuck they wanted, to that she consented, including using toys on her. Ugh, I feel sick. Remember how ill she was last time with the 1,000 men? Well, she aimed for 2,000 on this event, I believe. She wanted to be completely helpless, held down, gagged, choked, you name it. To me, that sounds like a fetish of being sexually assaulted or abused. What do you guys think? She seems to have a few fetishes.
I don't think I've gone young enough. Yeah, I want the most barely legal 18-year-old.
As promised, I'm outside Nottingham-Trent University, as I said I would, to pleasure as many uni students in 2 weeks. I want to sleep with 130 barely legal 18-year-olds. And you can go for as many rounds as you want. You can finish wherever you want. So come and get me on my knees and let me celebrate you getting into uni, boys. Okay, right, I'll take these two and then you three, okay? Did you want to spend 2 minutes with me alone or double it and pass it to the next group?
Double it and pass it to the next group. No, I'm joking, obviously 2 minutes alone.
Okay, perfect. And what are you going to do in that 2 minutes?
You don't want to know, you'll find out up there.
Okay, are we going to have some fun?
More than fun.
Okay, perfect.
You've not got a challenge, that's not happening.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's unreal.
Would you recommend me to a friend?
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah. What about your dad?
Probably as well, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Okay, and the main question, was it like throwing a hot dog down a hallway?
No.
It also sends a terrible message out to men and young boys, how she states it's what all women want, to be choked, etc. When that is certainly not the case. First of all, a virgin would not want that as their first experience. Second of all, most young people are not into that thing. It's more of a niche. And the other main thing that worries me is the people who have gone through sexual abuse. I myself have been through sexual abuse and being choked. And I'm not saying I don't enjoy that now with my partner because I feel safe and secure, but it definitely fucks with your head. And someone just doing that can be a huge trigger. So saying that all women are into this, completely wrong. And also again, worrying to put that out there to males who will falsely believe that narrative. She wanted to be watched like a zoo animal in that glass box. Strange urge to say the least. Bonnie somehow delusionally feels what she does is basically fighting for women's rights, and what all women have been aiming for all of these years. I think you took that slightly too literal and altered it to fit your narrative and way of life. After only 24 hours following promoting her petting zoo event, social media went mental, saying things like, "Where's the real Dexter when you need him? Dexter's my favourite." And "a zoo is too high class for you." Oh, that's savage, love it. And some other pretty violent comments too, that I certainly won't mention. And with everything, a shocking announcement, at least to Bonnie and her team. OnlyFans fully decided to ban her from their platform. Man, I bet she was devastated. Going from £2 million a month to zero? Bit of a shock. For everyone. The site informed her that it was because they don't support extreme content, which is completely bloody fair. Their site, their rules. And if you want to play the game and get paid, you gotta play by the rules, baby. She was not happy, to say the least. The Bonnie petting zoo was later cancelled. She also admitted she receives hundreds of death threats a day and never goes anywhere alone anymore because it's just not safe for her. So another major contradiction to her interview with Liam earlier. She knows that what she does and how she acts places her in danger daily. But perhaps she also gets off on that. Finds the danger of it all exhilarating, maybe. A sort of adrenaline fix. I feel like it's a mix of many things for her, to be honest. Now, Bonnie has faced legal issues before, like on November the 19th of 2024, when she was deported from Fiji, planning to violate obscenity laws by producing pornography in the country. living on the edge, that need for, this is so wrong, so I like it. On November the 7th of 2024, her Australian tourist visa was cancelled as they got wind that she was planning to produce schoolies, pornography content. The country basically turned against her. There was even a petition, maybe more than one, to keep her out of the country, which gathered thousands of signatures. Then she planned to do an interview with the self-proclaimed misogynist Andrew Tate. Very controversial, very contentious decision. Who at the time, and perhaps even still actually, is facing rape and human trafficking charges. I don't know where that's at now, if I'm honest. Bonnie Blue described Andrew Tate as a marketing genius. Ew, I just threw up again, fully, that time. She used this interview with Andrew to promote her new content, now on Fansly instead. Whatever the fuck that is. Probably the OF on Temu. Bonnie even went as far as to describe her and Andrew Tate as being probably the two most misunderstood people out there. Fuck me, that's wild to even say or claim. She even said she would fuck Andrew Tate too. The man that works alongside Bonnie then said there isn't anyone she wouldn't fuck. Bonnie returned with, as long as they're 18. Yes, that's the most important. But rapists, child sex offenders, murderers, she'll fuck the lot of you. I don't know that for sure, people. I'm just being mad sarcastic again, sorry. It's so hard not to be. Apparently, the interview between the two very controversial people provoked a huge amount of backlash. Her team estimated that it received over 1 billion views across all platforms. Now I'm not searching that, so it's up to you. If you want to know more, go and find out. Sorry. Her first month on Fansly, she gained 28,000 followers. Probably a lot who just moved platforms to follow her from the OF account. She earned a whopping £600,000 to help her and her family live a luxurious life. But things can always change, just like that. At the drop of a hat, or due to complete and utter stupidity, no care for anything but themselves. Hilariously, she said she hopes to one day be on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. That's if the country ever allowed her back in, of course. Well, I know that Ant and Dec play a major role in who gets picked for the show, and I also know they have way more class than that. Sorry, not sorry. But you never know, so watch this space. Then we finally get to this month of December 2025, where Bonnie was now in Indonesia and Bali. She had her own Polynesian-looking adapted blue bang bus, a Suzuki Carry, I believe, for her ventures around the beautiful island, boasting across her social media for young Australians, the schoolies, on their graduation celebrations, to meet up with her for her bang bus tour. So classy, I can't even cope, you guys. Totally inspiring. Remember I said that there would be a lot of heavy sarcasm throughout. I do hope that that was always obvious.
Just picked up the Bonnie Blue Bang bus in Bali. No aircon, why he's hanging out, what moved the seat, steering very questionable, doesn't have seatbelts, yeah.
Oh, the brakes work.
Remember how religious this country and island is as a whole. They hold extremely high morality laws and values. Ones Bonnie and her team didn't seem to be worried about at all, as they drove around the streets collecting young men.
Hey parents, remember when I said I was going to pick your sons up? I wasn't lying. Hi boys!
But the law did in fact catch up to them, accused of producing pornography, which is forbidden, and has penalties up to 15 years imprisonment as punishment for such acts. A citizen called the authorities to inform them of their illegal acts on the island. which was really hard for the people to convey to the police at first. But when they understood, they quickly acted. Along with 26-year-old Bonnie Blue, another 14 or 15 people aged between 19 to 40 were initially arrested, but were later described only as witnesses.
Are you happy?
Bonnie and one or two other British citizens, one Australian from her staff team, remained under investigation, pending a decision on their deportations from Indonesia back to their respective home countries. But that was only if they did decide to deport them. Otherwise, they could have faced up to 15 years in prison. That's a long time, especially if you're used to UK law. The Indonesian law enforcement raided a known rented studio of the group, where they seized things like cameras, outfits, sex toys and much more, probably due to her media performances and promises of what she had planned in Bali, and the fact that the public began complaining to authorities to act.
Those that are going to schoolies and to those that are barely legal, cannot wait to meet you. And I'm in Bali, so you know exactly what that means.
Alleging that she'd rented a bus to film explicit content with several young men during the schoolies week. Bonnie would be arrested on the 4th of December and transferred to Bali's immigration office for questioning in Badung on December the 10th, 2025. Pornography is not only illegal to produce in Indonesia, but also to just watch too. Extremely strict country with many rules and morals, where even just holding hands for too long is frowned upon, and public displays of affection are not welcomed. And if you enter another country, you must always do your research and certainly always follow their rules, cultures, and more importantly, their laws. It's pretty simple, yet they just didn't bother to follow them. Not only could Bonnie Blue, aka Tia Billinger, have faced up to 15 years behind bars in a completely foreign country, but also the threat of up to 6 billion Indonesian rupee in fines, which is like 269,400 English pounds, I believe. A shit ton of money to the most of us. It was reported that 2 British males and 1 Australian, plus Bonnie, had all been released since. It said Bonnie was cooperating with the authorities as they continued their investigations. So I presumed at that point that their passports had been taken, but they were also released as they resumed their investigating, and taking their passports would be to prevent them potentially escaping the country, at least by plane, and if they wanted to keep their passports. Bonnie was still under investigation and suspected of violating Indonesian immigration, pornography and electronic transaction law, and also issues with her bang bus. So really the best outcome for all of them was just straight up deportation and a ban from entering the country of Indonesia ever again, or for a period of time. And that was hopeful. I'm sure the Balinese government don't want to be seen by their citizens as allowing people to act in such a manner, totally disregarding any of their cultures, religious ways and even laws that they hold dearly and manage to respect every single day themselves. But you really have got to follow their laws when travelling. It's just that simple. Bonnie Blue case update. She was seen arrested and smiling, not covered up, to respect the country, and also sucking on a lolly. Still not really showing much respect to anybody, and looking pretty confident. But she did comment before how she's got a really good lawyer.
I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say I've got good lawyers.
So on Friday the 12th of December, Bonnie Blue, 26-year-old Tia Billinger, appeared for her hearing on this case. where press shouted things to her like, "Why you change your clothes?" and "Why you choose barley?"
Bonnie, why you change your clothes? Why you change your clothes? Bonnie, why you choose Bali?
After I think 2 days of questioning following the police raid on the production studio in Bali, where it said that other things like USB drives and even sexual performance enhancing pills were also discovered, Bonnie would turn up for her district court hearing, looking pretty nervous, yet smiling often, probably due to her being very confident in that lawyer of hers. She sat with her interpreter helping translate what the district judge was saying to her. If you ask me, he doesn't look too impressed, but Bonnie is pretty nonchalant throughout, remaining calm and listening to everything he has to say. But she is indeed right. She must have some great lawyers behind her. After investigating the studio and evidence found, even though there were sexual videos on her phone, there were many males found on the premises with face coverings and all different sex toys and pills and everything about. They would ultimately just not be able to prove when or where these videos were produced, and no sexual content had actually been posted, violating laws since she had arrived on the island itself. So at first, the Balinese authorities and immigration conducted a joint investigation, which regarded activities involving alleged criminal acts of pornography or material that violates decency. Also, she said she was there to travel, not work or produce content for financial gain. But it really is what pure evidence that they can get a hold of and use to prove that she actually violated their laws. And that wasn't so easy. When police were alerted to her activity, they responded quickly, maybe a little too quickly. The studio was full of people, but also fully clothed too. Apparently, what they were actually doing there was a sort of virtual game, where the winner would get to sleep with Bonnie herself. What a treat. But that hadn't yet happened. And no videos of private parts were found either. Also, no pornographic activities or acts. So they were just a little too quick. If this was the UK, she'd have been done and gone on a next holiday before they got to investigate. So they may not have the evidence on her of producing the sexual content on that island, but she still had visa issues and trouble regarding her Bali bang bus, which had been altered without correct documents and rights to do so, and had other issues like no tax, I believe. I think it was also registered as being white, but of course it was painted blue, and had her slogan on it. Then the visa abuse. She did not have permits to travel to Bali with the intention of any acts that could have earned her money, like picking young people up to film. It was reported even the guy driving the Bali Bang bus did not have a proper valid driving licence, and the bus had no tax since the year 2023. Ooh dear. So what ultimately transpired with her court case? Well, it was decided she would be completely blacklisted from the country of Indonesia altogether, at least for a minimum of 10 years, which can be extended. She would also be deported back to her home country of the UK. Then, get this, the content creator, who was making a crazy $2 million a month, was given a fine of, wait for it, £9 whole. I think they should have really gone off how wealthy the person is. That's just a chocolate bar or a coffee to her. Just literal change. She was even offered to either pay the huge £9 fine or spend an entire month behind bars. I've also read that it said a year, but I'm sure it couldn't have been a year. So, of course, she gave them her change, smiled and left, with a massive win and pat on the shoulder. No wonder she's smiling, avoiding up to 15 years in prison.
Bunny, I love you, Bunny.
Filmed as she left, someone made a comment about a party, to which she says this.
How about the parties? Tonight?
You want a party?
Yeah.
If you want to see my content, I'm pretty sure you can subscribe.
Oh gosh, just leave quick, before they change their mind. She was apparently guilty of minor traffic offences and also for an immigration violation due to working on a tourist visa, which earned her deportation from the country. She really did get off scot-free though, and was very lucky. I can't imagine being in a foreign prison. So, Saturday the 13th of December 2025, which is actually today as I finish writing this, Bonnie Blue has returned to British soil, arriving at London Heathrow Airport, which is our primary and largest international airport here in England. So I bet at some point some videos will emerge from her arriving.
Adult content creator Bonnie Blue claims she's only been banned from Bali for 6 months and will be returning for schoolies next year after being deported from the holiday island.
The 26-year-old detailing her time behind bars to Nine's Europe correspondent Anna Sinclair.
Back here in the UK, Bonnie Blue's disputing reports she's been banned from Bali for a decade after being deported from the holiday island. The 26-year-old fined just $19 for flouting Bali's road rules with passengers in the back of a ute labelled the Bang Bus.
Bonnie?
Yeah.
The Bang Bus in Bali. Do you regret it?
Definitely not, no.
You're banned for 10 years now from Bali. How do you feel about that?
That's a lie. I'm not. It's not 10 years.
What is it?
It's only 6 months. It is 6 months I'm banned for, and this is my letter.
The 26-year-old arrested last week on suspicion of breaking Indonesia's strict anti-pornography laws, but was later cleared. 14 faceless Australian men caught up in the schoolie scandal. Brisbane-based comedian Julian Woods also deported.
Were you worried?
There's a few hours I was concerned, but aside from that, I know how to click a delete button, so I wasn't worried.
What were you doing when you were arrested?
I was filming a YouTube video.
And those 14 Aussies who were arrested, what were they doing with you?
Having fun, just like most people.
Bali, Fiji, Australia, the list of places you're now banned is growing.
It is.
Are you going to give up on schoolies?
Definitely not. I will be doing schoolies 2026 for sure.
The adult content creator says for the first 30 hours in custody, she was held in a police station cell in Bali. But once she was released to immigration authorities, she claims she was allowed to stay in 5-star hotels and sunbake during the day. She says she's not scared to end up in a Bali prison cell and plans to return to the holiday island for schoolies next year.
But, wow, was she lucky, eh? Me personally though, I wouldn't like to know that she was suffering in a foreign prison, because that really would be horrific. But at the same time, you've got to respect their laws, so I don't know. I'm just not a really vile, nasty person. I mean, she hasn't killed anyone. My usual documentaries feature rapists and killers, so you know, and child abusers. So what do you all think? Do you reckon that she should have served the time of, say, 15 years for her total disrespect to Bali and Indonesia, their cultures, laws and traditions? What do you think of her life decisions, actions and how she portrays herself and others? And finally, did you enjoy this episode? Please, please remain respectful, but also share your views and where you are watching from in the world. Thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. Quite had fun not making one about a killer for a change.
My first ever event was meant to be a bukkake where it's just a blowjob. And just before the event started, there were 75 guys. And I was like, hold on a second, why can't I fuck her? Why can't I just get bent over instead? So even if I say, it's just going to be a hand job or blowjob, The next minute, you leave the room, you come back in, and I bent over and all the holes are being used.
You could also be a great business mentor outside of the sex industry, I'm sure.
No, they're fucking lazy. Majority of the people in my industry are just sluts. There's nothing else to them, and that's fine. But that's the difference between me and them, is they're just a slut. And I'm a slut, but I'm also very intelligent, and I'm also sweet, kind, and caring. They're someone that expect things from men. They expect the men to subscribe. They expect people to want to talk to them. And they expect people should know who they are and they should have loads of Instagram followers and all this other shit. But why? You don't deserve anything. You should never expect anything in life. You should work for it. And that's why I get really frustrated with sex workers when they're like, oh, but people should like me. You're never owed stuff in life. And a lot of sex workers just, they love themselves too much.
Do you respect women on the whole?
Yes and no. It's a difficult one. Like, you know, when I said people try to say it's one or the other, with women, it's not that I disrespect her, but when I get hate, sometimes I look at where the hate's coming from. And as a whole, it's fat, lazy women that sat on benefits. The buyer says stay-at-home mum of 2. No problem with that. But don't tell me I've took women back hundreds of years. What was the point of you even trying to argue a good salary? You don't even fucking work. So it's not that I hate women at all. But do I think women a lot of the time are lazy, emotional, expect too much from men and then say they want things equal? But best believe they aren't paying for that dinner bill, or they're not going to be opening the door for you. So let's not say things are completely equal and you want things equal, because do women go to work more and the men stay at home? No, they expect things to be paid for. And that's where it really frustrates me with women, that they pretend they want things equal, but their work ethic is pathetic.
But yeah, what would your final message to the masses be?
Boys, I hope you enjoy wanking over me, and I'm sorry your wife is so pathetic.
For fuck's sake.
Thank you all for being here, and until next time, take care. Random Jan.
So I earn a very healthy amount of money, so why not help my family out?
If you could earn £1 million in a month, your morals would soon change and you'd get your bits out. I don't care what people say. They all say they've got all these high morals, but no way, not for £1 million a month.
My mum is more than supportive. As long as I'm happy, it really is as simple as, if I'm happy, she's happy.
Please like this video and subscribe for more. Random Jan.
Bonnie?
Yeah.
The bang bus in Bali, do you regret it?
Definitely not, no.
Were you worried?
There's a few hours I was concerned, but aside from that, I know how to click a delete button, so I wasn't worried.
The list of places you're now banned is growing.
It is.
Are you going to give up on schoolies?
Definitely not. I will be doing schoolies 2026 for sure.